You're looking for a processor that won't make you second-guess every render, simulation, or multi-user build you throw at it. You want something that slips into your workstation and just works reliable, easy to live with, and worth the money you're about to spend, not just a glossy spec sheet. That hesitation you feel when you see a 24-core, 48-thread monster is real, because the wrong CPU can leave you with a rack that heats up, drinks power, or sits idle because your software can't actually use it. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's unpack what the AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro 7965WX actually delivers in the day-to-day grind of a professional workstation. First off, the chip sits on the WRX90 or TRX50 platforms, meaning you're dealing with a motherboard that supports up to 148 PCIe 5.0 lanes. For most creators and engineers, that translates to the ability to run multiple high-speed NVMe SSDs, a handful of GPU accelerators, and plenty of dedicated network or capture cards without having to fight over bandwidth. In practice, I've seen studios that need 4K video streams and a GPU-based color grade run smoothly when they pair this CPU with a 2TB PCIe 5.0 SSD and a 48GB DDR5 kit. The raw lane count is the hidden engine that keeps those devices from throttling. Now, let's talk about the actual work you'll be doing. If you spend most of your day in Adobe Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, or Blender, the 4.25.3 GHz boost range means heavy single-thread tasks like timeline scrubbing or UI responsiveness feel snappy, while the 24 cores chew through multipassing codes and physics simulations without you noticing a lag spike. In a recent test I followed online, a 10-minute 8K H.264 export dropped from just under an hour on a mainstream 12-core CPU to about 22 minutes on the 7965WX, thanks to the sheer parallelism. That's not just a numbers game, it's time you can spend iterating instead of waiting for the render bar to crawl. Security and stability are another practical angle. AMD markets the Threadripper Pro line as enterprise-grade, and that shows up in the form of built-in AMD secure processor and memory encryption support. For a data science team handling sensitive patient records or a small VFX house needing to keep source assets locked down, those features let you meet compliance without adding a separate HSM box. In real life, the CPU's error-correcting code, ECC, memory support means if a single bit flips in one of those massive DDR5 modules, the system can correct it on the fly, sparing you a mysterious crash in the middle of a long simulation. But the power draw is a trade-off that often gets glossed over. The 7965WX's TDP is quoted at 280W, and in a fully loaded workstation you'll be looking at upwards of 500W from the whole system. That forces you into a high-end PSU, a robust cooling solution, usually a 360mm AIO or custom water loop, and a chassis that can handle the airflow. If you're planning to slot this into a compact mini tower or a cheap case with a single fan, you'll quickly run into thermal throttling that negates the whole point of the chip. In short, the easy-to-live-with promise only holds if you're ready to invest in the supporting hardware. Who should buy this? If you're a professional who regularly works with multi-camera 8K footage, runs large-scale CFD or molecular dynamics simulations, or needs several GPUs for AI model training, the 7965WX gives you the lane and core headroom that typical consumer CPUs can't match. It also makes sense for boutique studios that need to future-proof a workstation for the next few years. The DDR5 and PCIe 5.0 ecosystem means you won't be stuck upgrading the memory or storage interface for at least another generation. The 4.2-star rating from 15 verified buyers reflects that the majority who took the plunge are happy with the raw performance and the peace of mind that comes from the security features. Who should skip it? If your workflow is mostly Office-type spreadsheets, email, web browsing, or light photo editing, the sheer horsepower is overkill and the cost of the platform, motherboard, DDR5, cooling will dwarf any benefit. Likewise, freelancers who rely on a single GPU for occasional video exports will likely see better ROI from a high-clocked 8-core Ryzen 7 or Intel i9 paired with a mid-range motherboard. The power consumption and cooling demands also make it a poor fit for anyone who values a quiet home office. The fans on the required coolers can become audible when the CPU pushes past 4.5 GHz under load. Practical strengths, summed up, are the massive parallelism for heavy multi-threaded workloads, the abundant PCIe 5.0 lanes that let you expand without bottlenecks, and the built-in enterprise security that removes a layer of third-party hardware. Weaknesses are the high power envelope, the necessity for premium ancillary components, and the diminishing returns if you're not actually saturating all those cores. One buyer on a tech forum mentioned that after a few weeks of daily 24-core usage, the system's power bill jumped noticeably, something you'll want to factor into your total cost of ownership.